Although every surfer's idea of a perfect wave is different, one thing is certain. No surfer ever wants his wave to end. Every year in the Amazon River Delta, a powerful wave is sent far up the river once a day for a week. Local Tupi Indians call this wave Pororoca, or Great Roar. For local natives, this wave is both feared and revered. For three of the world's top surfers, it is something entirely different. It is an irresistible call that will take them away from home, away from their loved ones, and send them on a journey of a lifetime, a quest for the endless wave. The Pororoca tidal bore is a powerful wave that charges up against the Amazon's rivers with unrelenting force. It is created by the full and new moons in late winter when the tidal changes are biggest. It's caused when the force of the ocean's incoming tide starts fighting against the outflow of the river. When the ocean finally wins, this pent-up energy creates a powerful 6 to 10 foot wave that rushes upstream. Although the best wave is expected on the full moon, this trip is planned for 5 days around the full moon in case of bad wind days. It's not an easy wave to ride, but for those who can, it's the ride of a lifetime. Our journey begins in Tofino, British Columbia, one of the most picturesque spots on Canada's rugged west coast. It's a haven for tourists who are attracted by its forest, fish, and stunning scenery. It's also a mecca for surfers and home to the man considered to be one of Canada's best surfers, Raf Bruweiler.
I grew up right next to the ocean. I was by the ocean every single day.
Surfers will tell you there is something different about their sport. Agility, strength, balance are all important, and so is a willingness to work with nature, to understand and respect its overwhelming power. Raf Bruweiler was born with this inherent knowledge of his environment. He's a descendant of the Métis, a people made up of French-Canadian and Native Indian blood.
I think Raphael, since he's little, right, he's got so used to connect with the water, and it became such a part of him that he is ocean inside, really.
Ready to see the future of surfing, eh?
I think when he teaches surfing, he's not just teaching becoming a surfer, but also his whole journey into the surfing. He's passing it on, that people are conscious of it or not. And I think it's also a great gift that's added to the lesson.
When he's not teaching, he surfs. Sometimes far away on exotic beaches, other times just off the rugged British Columbia coastline.
I want to try to find the breaks that are, 30 foot plus. Searching for the surf on the coast here is plane, boat, a bit of driving. And every break here works on, different conditions, and that's what's the hard part about this area is you got to put your time in.
His constant search for bigger, better, more challenging waves is intoxicating. It's why he has agreed to go to Brazil. There, he will try to set a world record by surfing one wave across dangerous Amazonian waters for more than 35 minutes.
The reason I want to go to the Amazon is because it's something new, like going in to ride a wave that can go on for like 30 minutes. You can ride for 30 minutes.
It's going to be interesting to watch that body of Raphael, an ocean body in some sense, move into the river. Yeah, this I find very interesting.
In surfing, I haven't felt fear for a long time. Like I haven't felt scared of a wave for a long time. Once I feel that fear, for me, it'll feel like I've pushed myself too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure when I surf the Amazon, if I catch a 30-minute wave, I probably won't be surfing for the whole next month, right? Because that'll be enough for me.
I think I'm ready for Brazil. Let's go to Brazil.
On his way to Brazil, Raf stops in Santa Cruz, California to pick up another surfer, a friend of his who also happens to be one of the biggest names in the surfing world.
Tony loves WCT. See, Santa Cruz. Everyone comes to Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
It's the spot.
Why are you the condor?
Kind of
Look at his
like
wingspan, man.
big old bird, too. I like point my fingers like a bird. California condor. You don't know about the California condor? You're looking at him.
Peter Mell, the California Condor, is a legendary big wave surfer and a superb small wave surfer.
If I didn't allow myself to play in the ocean, I'd feel empty. You know, it ties me to everything that is in my life.
Peter is a product of Santa Cruz, California, one of surfing's true epicenters. It's here in Santa Cruz that he honed his skills.
I grew up in this surf shop, basically. We're, I've been in business now, 35 years, which is basically since I was born. I guess I'll give the Canadian discount.
You autographed it too, please?
Oh, but it was a surf shop, a manufacturing shop, my bedroom. My family said it was a house, everything all under one roof. We've now progressed. We have our own factory now. We have the shop, and we have our own houses.
Peter Mell and Raf Breweiler are a strange duo. One a small, quiet Canadian, the other a tall American who is never at a loss for words. Different in personality, they are of one mind when it comes to their quest for waves.
I surf because it makes me feel really good. That's the main reason. It also happens to be my job. I'm very grateful to have that as something. You know, there's a lot of people in this world that work 9-to-5 jobs, and my 9-to-5 job is right here on the beach. So I like that. Raf is like one of those surfers that doesn't get out of the water. I mean, I've spent so much time with him, and he surfs so long. It's like, come on, dude, get in already. So I have a feeling this guy's gonna climatize to this 30-minute wave, no problem.
It's kind of interesting that he's going to be surfing with piranha and poisonous snakes. Vampire fish I'm concerned about, so I went and bought Peter a pair of Speedos because apparently this little fish can latch on to various important parts of the body. So the Speedos are to help him protect those important parts of the body, and I'm hoping he's going to wear those.
Peter and Tara have 2 kids, yet no one in the Mell family is overly concerned about the dangers that await Peter on the Amazon River.
I don't really worry myself that much about things like that, because if I did, I'd just be a nervous wreck. So I just kind of flow with it and hope for the best.
It's an opportunity to go see places that I've never seen and may never have again. And here we have an opportunity to ride away for 30 minutes. I don't think I could possibly do it, but I'm certainly going to try.
For the next leg of the journey, Raf and Peter travel from Santa Cruz, California to Sao Paulo. In Brazil, they will be meeting the man Brazilians refer to as the Pelé of surfing. Alex Salazar, otherwise known as Pororoca, is one of Brazil's most accomplished surfers.
I live in Santos. It's for me the best place in the world. Eu acho porque são oportunidades que a gente tem. Todos gostariam de participar de qualquer projeto que envolveria a Amazônia ou até mesmo a onda da Pororoca.
With nearly 500,000 people, Santos is one of the largest port facilities in Brazil and a popular vacation destination for Brazilians.
É isso que me realiza profissionalmente, passando a minha experiência para pessoas que realmente querem aprender e querem viver do surf e até mesmo vencer na vida como eu vencer. My first time I go surf and never more stop. Surf in my life.
Picaruta is known as the king of the Pororoca. Last year, he set a world record for longest ride on one wave by surfing the Pororoca for over 34 minutes.
Muitas vezes, principalmente agora essa viagem da Pororoca, que ele falou do tamanho da onda que vem, como ela vem forte.
My little son.
Meu pai conseguiu surfar 30 minutos numa onda porque ele tem já muita habilidade já no surf, já. Os outros caras não, eles nunca foram pra lá. Meu pai já foi uma par de vezes pra lá.
Pô, eu fico bastante preocupado, minha mãe também fica, a família toda, porque sabe que além da Amazônia, né, não é um lugar que muita gente frequenta assim.
Tchau, Fronter. Tchau, Luquinha.
Boa viagem.
Bom, parece que acho que a chuva que nós vamos pegar lá na Pororoca, na Amazônia, parece que já deu uma antecipada. Já começamos a pegar ela aqui em São Paulo. Isso é pra galera já ver que realmente lá o negócio não vai ser brincadeira não, mas é o velho ditado, quem tá na chuva é pra se molhar, então vamos embora porque tem muita ação aí pela frente. Bom, eu não conheço nenhum dos dois surfistas, que é o Peter Mel e o Rafael. E para mim vai ser uma experiência muito grande poder surfar com eles na onda da Pororoca, já que é uma onda, um fenômeno realmente natural.
Picaruta. Hello, Rafael. Hello.
From Sao Paulo, our surfers fly to the port town of Macapá. This will be the staging area for the rest of their journey. The Amazon inspires intrigue and mystery for most who hear its name, even in Brazil. With over 1,000 known tributaries covering more than a third of South America, the Amazon River basin remains highly inaccessible and very difficult to explore. Of the many secrets and gems it holds, perhaps the greatest of all, at least for a surfer, is the longest wave in the world. The port city of Macapá is located on the Amazon Delta and is only accessible by boat or plane.
Primarily the last 2 days trying to figure out where our boats are. They came down from Canada. We've lost them. The Brazilian government has lost them, and we spent $25,000 on boats. We don't know where they are. Probably never see again.
This leaves a couple of days to explore the city and experience the energy and excitement of Brazilian culture firsthand. There are likely no people in the world more passionate than the people of Brazil. In Macapá, the guys experienced this firsthand while taking in a northeastern dance called Marabaixo. Soccer was introduced to Brazil in the early 20th century by the British Navy. Now, their national team is the most successful in the history of World Cup soccer. Raf and Picaruta were lucky enough to catch this regional championship match on the Amazon River mudflats at low tide. A legacy of the African slave trade in Brazil, the capoeira is an art form that was officially banned in the 19th century to prevent slave uprisings against their masters, but was reinstated during the Vargas regime in 1932 and is now practiced throughout Brazilian society.
The people from Brazil have really big hearts. They're really good people, and they're very, very energetic. You know, they're good energy to be around.
Pororoca decides to introduce raft to a drink mixture Brazilian surfers use for energy. It's made from crushing protein-rich acai berries and then adding mandioca flour and sugar. Dr. Clermar Correa da Silva has joined the team to deal with any medical issues that may arise. In the Amazon rivers, there are thousands of poisonous snakes, piranha, stingrays, and crocodiles awaiting the surfers. But perhaps the most notorious danger is the kangaroo or vampire fish, a blood-sucking needlefish that crawls up your urinary tract, hooks in with barb-like anchors, and can only be removed by amputation.
It's not mavericks here,
Okay.
but important. And we are, all of us will survive, no problem. If you go to the nature, if you enter in the forest, on the river, you don't need make a ritual. Is this a ritual? You don't make a ritual. Just stop, just listen, just look. If you keep a respect attitude there, you will save. The entities, the gods, will be protected. We are watching by the gods of nature now.
Well, it's finally about time to make the last little leg of the journey up meet the Pororoca. I think we have a nice long 4-hour bus ride and an even longer boat ride. I'm excited. I'm ready to actually hit this last little journey. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be surfing the Pororoca.
Every time we advance towards the Pororoca, it seems to always be, the weather changes. Like right now, there's thunder and it's raining really hard. And the closer and closer we get to it, it's just every time we get up and move, we get this bad weather.
And I don't know what kind of a sign that is. Hopefully it's a sign saying it's going to be sunny the whole time we're up there, but I can get on the river and weird things happen from what I hear, so we'll see how it goes.
As the rain disappears, the crew begins its journey from Macapá to a remote village on the Amazon River called Cutias. Once in Cutias, they will get on a riverboat that will take them to their camp at the mouth of the Araguari River. 5 hours on a bumpy road with Amazonian heat and a broken air conditioner makes you wonder if all of this torture is worth one wave a day. Cutias is a trading outpost for this remote area of the river. Once on the boat, it will be another 14 hours until they reach their destination, their camp in the Amazon River Delta.
Yours are already on.
Não, Chico, já põe lá.
The Brazilian crew consists of boat drivers, cooks, mechanics, and a few hitchhikers going downriver. The captain's local river knowledge is especially important here, since there are no markers to tell you where the channels are, and no one to tell you when and where to hide from the dangerous Pororoca tidal wave.
E o que me faz sentir vontade de cada vez vir mais para cá é que quanto mais eu venho, mais eu descubro realmente o que é o fenômeno na Pororoca. E isso me faz querer voltar cada vez mais.
The journey to the Pororoca is a long journey. You look at the way the Amazon works is that you get a lot of rainforest. And I believe that this region of the world gets an extreme amount of rain. You just kind of see how small you feel. Picaruda, I believe, has more wave riding time than any surfer in the world. He's surfed the Pororoca 5 times. From what I hear, he doesn't ride the wave less than 15 minutes.
It takes a lot to go and chase down the Pororoca, a lot of planning.
The excursion is running late. Ideally, this journey should have been made 36 hours earlier. That way, the surfers would have arrived in daylight and could have seen the Pororoca before attempting to surf it the next day. Since they will land at their camp just hours before they surf the wave, all last-minute logistical and safety reviews must be done now.
There's a lot of dangerous things here on the river, a lot of things that can go wrong. So what we're doing is we're going out on low tide. So there's shallow spots in the river. The motor hits the ground, we get stuck. We can't move. The wave's coming at, get away from the boat. The wave will take that boat and throw it upside down. I mean, we're lucky we might get the boat back, but it's not a place that you want to have that boat flopping around, potentially hitting you, because it'll break you up. The surge flows up the river. The snakes get washed off the bank there, and they end up going with that surge of water too, and they're in a scared state where potentially that's probably the most dangerous time to be. And I rode with them for about a half an hour without knowing it. The most frustrating thing is not being able to get this wave. I mean, it's difficult. We know when it's going to come, but it's still governed by nature. You know, some days we got wind, some days it's rain, some days it's good, some days it's bad.
Yeah.
You just can't tell. And it gets a crosswind so that the right can be blown out, and we haven't ridden the left. You'll see so many sections that are so unreal, and
just being there's a hard part.
Being there's a hard part.
Yeah.
So be prepared and just enjoy this once-in-a-lifetime experience. The first time when I was out there by myself, I'm thinking, I'm glad I got this cord, because if a crocodile comes after me, I'm shoving my board in his mouth and I'm going to wrap him up with this cord, you know?
That's a good idea.
So, you know, there's a cord always comes in handy.
Foi uma adrenalina muito forte, pois o barulho estava e isso fez que a gente ficasse um pouco com medo. Mas graças a Deus acabou tudo dando certo e acabei surfando a onda e nada de ruim nos aconteceu. É porque não adianta você falar para uma pessoa como o Peter Mel, que pega a onda de 40 pés, que a onda da Pororoca vai matar ele. Jamais iria matar ele, mas eu peço que ele tenha respeito pelo fenômeno que é, um fenômeno natural que a gente deve respeitar. Já, por incrível que pareça, na última vez que eu estive aqui, veio 2. E as pessoas já perguntaram para mim por que só eu consigo ver ou talvez só aparecer na minha onda. E isso talvez seja uma transmissão de energia, que isso faz que realmente eu me sinta uma pessoa, como é que se diz? Privilegiada.
At a little after 6 o'clock in the evening, the Brazilian boat captain decides to stop and anchor the boat. He's in a deep part of the river. This is the safest place for a boat when the Pororoca arrives in a couple of hours.
I feel a little sketched out that the boats that we were supposed to use, the Zodiac boats, never made it through customs. And now we got to use these tin boats with these engines that aren't very reliable, pretty old engines. And that thought's always in the back of my mind as well. You know, if that engine just quits, then that boat's going over.
Just a few miles away, the Pororoca is flexing its muscles. What separates the Pororoca wave from an ocean wave is its relentless power. An ocean wave will break and then dissipate. The Pororoca breaks, but keeps on rolling sometimes for hours and hundreds of miles up the rivers. Imagine being in a small boat like this one and suddenly hearing the Pororoca bearing down on you. 3 weeks earlier, that is exactly what happened to 4 local fishermen here. They're still missing and are presumed dead. Even on land, people aren't totally safe from the Pororoca. On this farm, the shoreline erodes 100 meters every 6 years, while other villages have been completely destroyed by the wave. Local legend has it that years ago, there was a young native woman who was impregnated by a dolphin. After having triplets, she rejected them and threw the children into the river. Now, every year for several weeks at a time, the children roar back up the river as dolphins, bringing the Pororoca and destroying everything in their path.
We're waiting for the Pororoca to pass. Now the boat's rocking right now, so it's passing, and then once it passes us, we're gonna head up to the farmhouse where we're gonna be staying for the night. But we gotta wait for the tide to fill in, because the tide's really low right now, so we're just waiting for the tide to rise. And the boat's rocking quite a bit right now, so the Pororoca is passing us. We're heading up this little narrow part of the river to get to the bungalows we're staying at in the big boat. You know, I'm feeling like we're never gonna get there because we keep getting stuck in mud. You got these guys, there's like 5 guys that jump out and try to push the boat off, you know, this 50-foot boat off the mud. And it's nighttime, there's spotlights, but there's jungle all around us. These guys are in the water there, there's, you know, snakes coming up after them. And it looks pretty gnarly. It's hard to be a deckhand in these parts.
Oh my God.
I don't feel too nervous, I feel more excited, like I want to catch a long ride. I'm just really looking forward to head out there and surf this thing and see what it's all about. I think the rain was a way to let us know it's coming. It's coming today, the Pororoca is coming.
All I see is this big rain cloud coming down, and it just hits, and then you hear the rumble, and you know that's the start of the Pororoca, and that just starts the bubble inside, and wow, this place is amazing. It creates a wave and weather all with one fell swoop.
It's never easy getting a wave on the Pororoca. On their first day out, Peter completely misses his wave, while Raf and Picaruta fight through rough conditions for short and disappointing rides.
Don't give me a bad time. Like this, tomorrow like this, by day 5 like this. Yeah. Today just practice, you know, practice. Yeah. Warm up the legs. Make sure you know how to catch it.
Today is good for Gary Leader.
Exhausted after a frustrating day on the river and only a few hours sleep the night before, the surfers return to their base to regroup and try to get a good night's sleep.
feeling, you know, really comfortable. It's good to always get that first day, you know, under your belt. And yeah, I feel really comfortable. I'm not thinking about what's under the water, what's underneath me. I'm just thinking about getting that wave and getting a long ride. What I learned about the wave is that you only get one chance. If you don't catch that wave, then that's it. Your surfing day is over. The conditions are pretty choppy. We've got a lot of wind coming up the face of the wave, so that's going to make it a lot harder to catch the wave. You can't do good moves because it's pretty choppy, plus you got boat wake in the way. It's going to be a bit harder. It's harder than it seems to get a good wave at the Pororoca. You know, a lot of times you'll get sections that'll fizzle out, or you know, a lot of times you just can't catch the wave, so I really want to try and do it tomorrow.
Get bummed on yourself and you're like, dang, I missed it, I'm not gonna be able to ride it again. And you kind of sit back and realize, you know what, there's another day.
Well, I'm excited because we finally actually have a boat that's going to allow me to have a second chance, because we haven't had much of a second chance. And the way things have been going lately, I need a second chance.
Today is small, maybe tomorrow more big.
It's a new day, and surfers are welcomed into it by an Amazon sunrise and calm air. The lack of wind is a good sign and a harbinger for glassy conditions and smooth rides.
What I want to do is I want to get a wave that's over 5 minutes. Try to go to the outside section that we've been seeing the last couple of days and try to get whipped into there and hopefully try to ride the wave all the way in if I can. We'll just have to see. We got to pull our boats up on the mud bank high enough so when the Pororoca comes, 2 boats are able to launch and be behind us to pick us up.
Raf is first out of the boat, but timing is everything. A wave that looks perfect one moment can fizzle the next.
Oh, you get so bummed for him because you know how I know how it feels, and you miss that wave, you're just like, ah. But sure enough, you grab the next one.
In some areas of the river, the lead wave causes something called a wave train behind it, which gives surfers a welcome second chance.
Once you're actually up and riding on that wave, it's just such a rad feeling. Like I never would have thought, just by watching videos and stuff of it, that it was such a, you know, awesome thing to come out and surf the Pororoca.
I never see surfing in Canada. Para mim, eu estou querendo falar que foi uma surpresa saber que tinha surfista do Canadá e surfando bem.
Peter's luck also begins to turn on this day.
I got denied access to it and the fun, and then the next day I got one of the best waves I've ever ridden in my life.
riding that wave. It's like, you know, oh yeah, I'm gonna rip the heck out of it the whole way, and you just run out of juice, dude. It's how it is. You run out of juice, and then you gotta rest for a few minutes and, stand straight or whatever you can do just to kind of grab your composure back and then wait for another section, because there's just sections after section after section where it kind of starts to line up a little bit, and you get into it and get into it, get into it. Next thing you know, you're like, oh gosh, I'm tired again. You want to get to your belly, but you can't do that. So you just kind of stand there and wait for it to build back up again and do it all over again. So much fun. So much fun. I'm so happy.
This wave a lot more than all the frustration you get for the first couple days. All of a sudden you get it like a day today.
Well, give it a shot, have fun.
Awesome.
Well, I just rode the longest wave of my life by 5 times probably. Can I walk? Oh, guess I gotta hit the gym a little more often if I'm gonna start surfing this wave every day. I surfed a month's worth of surfing, wave riding time in, one wave. You can't do that anywhere else in the world. Pretty amazing, and it was a really good wave. Super smooth, buttery smooth, just awesome.
He kind of gunned it when the wave was breaking behind him, and I was still holding on, getting up, and it just ripped it, yanked it right off my hands. I'm all cut up here. So I had my hands up above the water like this, sitting on my board, because lots of piranhas, and as soon as piranhas get a whiff of blood, you get a big pack of them coming, so I was kind of freaked out.
After Peter's ride, there isn't much left in this wave for Picaruta.
For me, it's no good.
He still manages to ride for over 10 minutes, but mostly on a flat wave. Not nearly the sort of ride he was hoping for.
It's good for Peter, no? Tomorrow maybe...
It's been a rough trip so far for the king of the Pororoca. After 3 disappointing surfing days on the river, Picaruta decides to lift his spirits by taking a side trip to find a young local who is said to surf a smaller section of the Pororoca in his dugout canoe. In remote areas of the Amazon, there is a small number of water buffalo farms scattered along the banks of the river. The farms here are owned by absentee landlords, but inhabited by locals who work the land to survive. Most of the people here are not surfing aficionados, so Brazil's most accomplished surfer receives an understated welcome when he arrives at the farm of the young canoe surfer.
Quem que é o surfista da Pororoca, pegando com a canoa? Quem que é pegando de canoa? Qual que é? Diego! Vem cá.
Esse aí.
Esse aí que é o surfista da Pororoca. Pô, vascaíno? E aí, Diego?
Tá.
Tudo bem? Tu que é o surfista da Pororoca? Pega as ondas aí com a canoa?
É.
Qual madeira, Guerra? Aquela lá? Oh, hello, capivara! Foi uma oportunidade que eu já tinha ouvido falar de todas as vezes que eu vim para cá. E para mim foi uma satisfação. Tanto esse que surfa na canoa, como que mora ali ao redor, na Vila do Bom Amigo, que fez uma pranchinha e o sonho dele é surfar numa prancha. Que eu estou pretendendo mandar para eles, para que, quem sabe, a gente possa fazer um trabalho e que talvez eles possam, não só eles, mas qualquer outras pessoas voltam aqui algum dia, a gente possa ver um surfista local que realmente nasceu na margem do rio, possa estar surfando aquela onda.
For the first time on the trip, the full moon makes an appearance. It's a welcome sight, because a fuller moon means the Pororoca will be getting that much closer to full strength.
I'm all on the same board. I changed up my skivvies. I'm now down to my longer skivvies. The ones before are they're just a little uncomfortable. I'm not used to having all that support. I like to be a little looser.
I thought I was going to get shafted again this morning because the boat broke down and we started off really late. And I don't know, I just thought, oh God, am I ever going to get my long wave? It kind of started off a bit rough because it was really, really choppy outside on the outside wave. I knew it was going to be hard because it's a lot harder to go down those waves and do turns on those waves when you got that chop. You got to stay so balanced. My first or second wave, it was pretty choppy already, so it was hard to keep, the rail to do turns. And then there was a boat right in front of me that was kicking off quite a bit of chop. And a couple times I went over the chop, but this time it was too big of a chop, and I just kind of went over and just totally got slammed and wiped out. And and then I was on the back, and Clay pulled me into another one. I got a good little left and kept going forever on that one. It just blows my mind how you can get such a long ride and it only comes once a day. What am I riding? Like, what is this thing? It just keeps going and going forever. But it's definitely the longest wave of my life. I don't know how long it was. My legs are just killing me right now. Got my longest wave of my life today, so I'm stoked.
These rain squalls come every time we surf there. Right before the wave comes, you get these squalls, and sometimes they're stronger than others. The wave hits this certain area of the river, and everything kind of comes together. There's a lot more work than just the fact that there's water moving through a river. It's a powerful, powerful experience, and it's really, really hard to explain, but it's something that I felt when I was there, that there's more at work than any human can ever explain. Today, the most fun I had today was on the wave with Pororoca. I basically rode with him the whole time, but we were able to do some kind of crossover cutbacks and stuff and kind of play around with him. And, he's got the greatest personality. He's fun to hang around, and, it kind of reflects in his surfing. So, we got there, we were playing, having a grand time. The wave was a little bit tougher to ride today, being that there's a bunch of chops on it, but we still tried to make it happen as best we could.
Quando você entra na água para surfar, você praticamente deixa o mundo todo para trás e você está em contato diretamente com a natureza. E é a natureza que te transmite uma energia para que quando você sai, você está pronto para enfrentar qualquer problema da vida. Two dolphin in one wave. Follow me in the waves. One time I'm seeing the cut back, the dolphin, he follow me. Eu não conheço totalmente. Eu acho que a Pororoca é uma coisa que ainda está para ser explorada por muitos outros surfistas, porque é muito difícil, pela mudança que tem do fundo constantemente. Então é uma onda difícil de se falar que conhece. Eu acho 5 vezes que eu fui lá, eu conheço um pouco, sei praticamente aonde cair, a melhor parte que dá para manobrar, mas conhecer totalmente ainda estou explorando essa parte.
To match his 34-minute record ride, Pororoca must get through this deep section of the river where the waves flatten out for a short time. He falls short today.
It's nice. Nice? Yes, the wave is not perfect because the too much windy. This is Amazon. Everybody happy, no? Yeah, I seen the dolphin in my waves 2 times. This is maybe one present for me. Presents for the team, no? For the trip. This good energy.
The arrival of the dolphins has lifted Pororoca's spirits. Another good omen arrives as night falls on the river, a spectacular full moon. It signals the coming of the biggest tide of the week and what could be the best wave yet.
Porque para nós, o surfista, a gente vê o mundo da seguinte forma: a água salgada seria o sangue do mundo e as florestas seriam o pulmão. Então, se começaram a destruir a natureza do jeito que o ser humano está se destruindo, pode ter certeza que um dia não vai ter mais vida na Terra. Como as pessoas todas que vêm para cá, a maioria não consegue surfar a mesma quantidade de tempo que nem eu surfo. Todos querem saber como que eu consigo, por isso que a gente citam como o rei da Pororoca. Mas não é que é isso, é que eu procuro sempre, além de obedecer e respeitar as regras do rio Araguari, que isso que acho que para mim é fundamental. Toda vez que eu entro no rio eu peço licença, pois eu estou entrando num lugar onde não me pertence. Talvez isso seja um respeito que eu tenho e esse respeito me transmite uma sorte. Porque Deus me pôs na terra para fazer esse esporte, praticar esse esporte, para fazer isso. Acho que todos nós temos um objetivo e temos uma missão na terra. E Ele achou que eu seria um grande surfista. Então essa é a missão que eu estou cumprindo. Até que um dia Deus consiga me falar qual é o segredo da Pororoca, que é isso que eu quero descobrir.
Pororoca is a special place because of the fact you get, a feeling that there's more going on than just a wave coming down a river.
For the second day in a row, Picaruta enters the deep section of the river, and once again, the wave begins to flatten out. But today is different. The Pororoca spirits are with him, and a dolphin makes a timely appearance. Moments later, the wave regains its power, and Picaruta keeps on surfing.
He's a man down here, and he's a man at the Pororoca. He knows, he's got that wave dialed, he gets the longest waves.
It's not an easy wave to surf, but Picaruta went above and beyond anything that I'd ever seen before in reading the ocean or reading the wave.
On this day with cameras rolling, Alex Picaruta Salazar surfs one wave for over 43 minutes. It's a stunning accomplishment, the longest ride ever captured on film or videotape, and in all likelihood, the longest ride ever in the history of surfing.
For me, perfect. Congratulations for the team, this good team.
Yeah.
This is very important.
To the team. Right on, Picaruta.
Surfasse ou, de qualquer forma, divulgasse a Pororoca, que procurasse passar uma imagem positiva e de respeito, pois não é só um fenômeno que está ali, mas sim, nós estamos dentro de uma floresta amazônica que praticamente é o pulmão do mundo. Então nós devemos cuidar disso, que para nós a floresta está se destruindo, as pessoas estão explorando a Amazônia de uma forma tão bruta que, quem sabe, talvez um dia não se encontre mais, não só a onda da Pororoca, mas talvez essa vegetação que a gente tem a oportunidade de ver.
It's one of the most amazing places on Earth. And to be able to set myself as one little piece inside this huge arena. It was humbling, and it was an experience I'll never forget.
It just felt so good to just keep riding, like just that energy just pushing you forever and ever. You're never prepared enough. Like once you're actually up and riding on that wave, it's just such a rad feeling. Like I never would have thought that it was such a awesome thing to come out and surf the Pororoca.
For Peter, Raf, and Picaruta, their journey is complete. They've found their endless wave. And maybe more importantly, they've learned something about one of nature's greatest gifts, the Pororoca.